it's like kind of a play on words. We all grew up building blocks, but also about building communities, which is why I think it was so amazing to get you in here to do this. So let's rock and roll.
All right.
We'll do my little time clap. But this is a lot of fun. I really appreciate you coming down. And
absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So before we get way too far into this, why don't you just introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and you have a very special project that we want to talk about today.
Absolutely. So I am Devereaux Peters. I am a fellow Notre Dame grad. Go Irish.
Go Irish. I shamelessly threw on the...
I know. I peeped the hat. I respect that. I love that you have that on today. And I played basketball at Notre Dame and happened to graduate and play professionally for 7 years. And after I retired from playing professionally, then I switched into development, and that's how we ended up here and getting connected.
Yeah, so shout out Courtney Kubley, Kara Herring, all of our good friends. I mean, the South Bend community has been amazing, and that's one of the things I love about being a part of that community is Notre Dame Alumni Network, South Bend go hand in hand, and people are always just looking to help each other out. So I was really excited to connect with you and just kind of get to know you, not only just from being a fellow Domer, but as you're getting into real estate, doing some developments on your own. Let's talk about this really cool project you have up and coming because you've been hard at work for over a year now.
Yes, so we've actually been working on this project for 4 years. At the end of this year, it'll be 5 years. So it has been quite the process. We started actually on the north side of South Bend, trying to put together a low-income apartment building, and did not have any success there with the community there. And luckily, I had built out a relationship with the city of South Bend and the community development office. And so they pushed me to this new site, which is the vacant lot at the corner of Michigan and Monroe. And as a result of that, the Monroe, my project was born, which has been quite the roller coaster, getting funding, community engagement, getting the city involved, getting the state involved. But yeah, we're finally at a place that hopefully we can get close to closing by the end of this year or early next year and get in the ground and start building.
I love the location itself, I think, is just a really great spot because there's a lot happening. Before we jumped on and hit record, we were kind of talking about how much is planned for that area. So tell me a little bit about what excites you most about this project in particular. Obviously, it's your first big one. So congratulations, you made it this far. I mean, real estate can just be a challenge, especially in today's market, but you're doing something in an area that is just seeing tremendous growth and opportunities. So tell me a little bit about what excites you and what's going on kind of in that area, particularly for people that maybe aren't so familiar with exactly where the Monroe is going to go.
Well, I think it's twofold, right? So my project is my baby. This is my first project that I'm doing on my own, which I'm very excited about, but also because it's a very unique project. So a lot of low-income housing projects that use tax credits, they're typically solely affordable. So they're only for low-income tenants. This building is a little bit more than that. So we do have low-income, but we also have market rate units. We have a ton of amenities in the building, and then we'll also have on the first floor what we call live-work units, which are spaces that have small commercial space for entrepreneurs, for people that own small businesses, so that they can have commercial space to grow out their business when they typically couldn't afford commercial spaces because they're so expensive. Commercial rent is really high. So those are spaces that we are saving specifically for those types. And not charging for the commercial space. So they're able to grow and build out their space. So that's why one of the reasons I'm really excited about this project in particular is just because it's so unique. But also that area, like you said, is getting a ton of investment. The city of South Bend just did a downtown community investment plan, which is the first time ever they've done that. But I think within maybe a 3-block radius of where my project is located, there are maybe 3 other apartment buildings being built and a couple commercial ventures that are coming as well. So there's a lot of investment going on. And then you also have, I think it's $100 million going into the baseball stadium, which is only 3 or 4 blocks away, so that they can build an upper deck. So there's just a lot that's happening specifically in that small area, which before this kind of period was the end of downtown. Like nobody went past where I am because there was nothing there to go to. But now, within the next probably 5 years, that's going to be a very like bustling area where a lot of people will be able to go, and there'll be a lot more residents and just a place where people can congregate and really experience South Bend.
Yeah, I think it's super exciting because you almost can't wrap your head around how much is happening so quickly. And I think it's super promising just to see the progress that's going on, but also just the overall diversity of projects. It's not like everyone's coming in and trying to just build to suit rental buildings. There's different, scopes that people are looking at in terms of where their target markets, target demographics. I think that what's really incredible and exciting about this space is not only the affordability and kind of like entry-level housing, but the opportunity to come in and build your business around it. Because I know that South Bend has made monumental efforts in partnering with things like IDEA and Elevate Ventures and all these different things that are going on to kind of incubate and bring business to South Bend, but also keep business in South Bend. So talk to me a little bit about kind of the overall community and how has it been working with the people in the community to kind of get this project off the ground for as long as you've been at it?
Honestly, it's been great. I think that's one of the true testaments to what the Office of Community Development has been doing. To be quite frank, they have been amazing. The community overall has been awesome. And just how much they've been communicating with me and what their needs are and what they would like to see. It's really helped me build out a building that I think is what they need. But also the city has just done so much to make it work. And I'm sure you know this from being in Chicago and in South Bend. There's a lot of hoops to jump through in Chicago, where in South Bend, they want to see things get done, and they're going to make sure that if your project is something they like and they want in their city, they're going to find a way to make it work. And I think that really makes the process so much easier, but also just shows how much dedication they have to growing out the city into what they really want it to be. I was just talking to somebody yesterday. I need an extension on my development agreement with the city. And all it took was an email like, hey, we're having some delays and some issues right now. Can we just extend this to this date? And they said, for sure. Do you think that's all you need? Do you need longer? We don't want you to have to keep extending. So let us know how long you need and we'll get it done. And literally within maybe 2 weeks, they had it done. That's not happening in Chicago.
No.
You're going to have months-long process to even get a hold of somebody at the city, let alone get a redevelopment agreement extended or updated. Like, it's just such a different process there, but it's really made it so pleasant and nice to work there. And also, one of the reasons I want to continue to do work in South Bend and continue to do new developments outside of this one.
Well, and I think that a lot of people see it for exactly that. There's so much opportunity. It's approachable. It's not a place that the barriers to entry are extremely high to be involved as a developer in that space. There's a lot of people that, I share the sentiment. I feel the sentiment that everyone's there to be on the same team to grow South Bend. And we've all called it home at one point. And so I think it's really exciting that it's like, hey, we want you to come here. We want you to be here, be a part of it, live here, work here, build here with us. For people that are considering maybe South Bend or maybe looking at their first real estate development in any major city, what's some advice you would give them now after all this time that you've spent? What are just some pieces of advice you might give to them if they're listening and say, hey, I want to consider this, and maybe it's not South Bend because maybe they went to school in another small town and they want to be a developer. What kind of advice can you give them?
One, relationships are huge. I think the biggest issue I had and the reason that it didn't work on the north side is because I hadn't really built out the relationships that I needed for, one, the community to trust me and also the city to trust that I wanted to do something that was good and to everyone there's benefit. So what has made this process so much easier and fulfilling is that, like you said, everybody kind of works together. I've partnered with other developers around the area. I've worked with Notre Dame on certain aspects and certain pieces, and there's a very large community there that if you're genuine in what you're trying to do and you are listening instead of just, telling them what they need, they're going to do what they can to help you and figure out how to get it done. And so building those relationships and honestly going to the community first and seeing what their needs are to make sure they're being fulfilled, I think is huge in making any progress and creating a project that is actually beneficial. Because, I think that after being in this business for some time, some developers can have a bit of an ego and think that they know everything and that they have an understanding of what everybody needs. But nobody is going to know their community better than the people that actually live there and are working there every day and spending time in that community. And I feel like the approach always needs to be hearing them first when creating a new development and doing work in that city, because they're the ones that know what they want and what they need. And I feel like if you take that approach, you're going to be accepted and really helped along the way in a business that's already very, very, very difficult. It's hard to get these deals done. So the less, factors you can have in your way, the better. And I think that is created by building out great, great relationships.
Well, and I can attest to that because I know firsthand that for the Monroe, you've been in the community, you've been talking to local businesses, you've been really saying, guys, here's what we want to do. How can this maybe find a place to fit for you? And I really admire that because it's more than just, I'm a builder, I'm a developer, I'm coming into this market, I've got this product, and we're just going to slap it down on a pad. It's really much more than, it's more about what the project represents, right? And you've really stayed committed to that. And that's why I think this is such a great project to talk about and really just get the word out as to all the exciting things that are happening alongside the Monroe and other projects in the area. So I really look forward to hopefully jumping back in on this soon to get a progress update and then hopefully see some really, really incredible photos of your project going up in the near future.
I hope so. You'll definitely get the invite to the groundbreaking. It's going to be a good time and a major woosah and breath of fresh air once we get there. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how it progresses and where we go. But just continuing to work really hard to get this done.
I really appreciate you stopping in. It's always great to see you. And,
thanks, Tony. This is awesome.
Yeah, best of luck. And so Devereaux Peters in the Monroe, check it out and stay tuned for more.